In my last couple videos, I was talking about how various ideas are designed to make you insane, and when these symptoms of insanity bring up themselves, they say that this is healthy behavior. In this video, I'm going to describe my bouts and history of mental illness. When I was a little child, I had a rough childhood. I didn't come from a abusive household, thank goodness for that, but I came from a dysfunctional household. This made it difficult to function at school. As a result, I started having problems at school. Now, all this dysfunction made me depressed, made me create anxiety. It made me a hot psychological and emotional mess. I was born as a middle-class white person who could have had anything he wanted. And what would happen is, because of this, I couldn't think straight. Everything that made sense to me, when applied to the real world, would not pan out, because if someone outside looking in would realize how stupid my plans were. This also made it impossible to work. And I wasn't able to work at all, and I just couldn't see why I couldn't do what was needed to get done. This isn't the only time this has happened to. This isn't the only person that's happened to. My mother, she had it worse. She grew up in a very abusive home. Her father was a monster, and I'll just leave it at that. My mother was a wreck, and I just inherited the baggage. But she tried her best despite her flaws. But my mother was tormented. She was sexually abused and beaten by my granddad, who was a drunk. And the same thing has happened to her. She often comes with ideas that most people are saying, "What the fuck are you thinking?" She's a good woman, but she has her flaws because of this. And a lot of things just doesn't seem to make sense. To the observer, they're very stupid ideas. I'm not calling her stupid. I'm saying her mental condition made her stupid. Just like my emotional made me stupid. And she had the same problems throughout her life of being able to work in a competent manner. She would come home and she would often cry about how she would just screw things up. And what has happened is, because of this emotional dysfunction, she cannot see the world as it is. She has extreme trouble seeing anything in a way that would make life easier. Her delusions and her imbalances, just like my delusions and imbalances due to being screwed up, has literally affected my senses, where I can't see things physically, where I can't hear things physically like a normal person would, and that made it impossible to function. So your emotional state, your subjective state, determines what you are able to see or not see. What's this have to do with my last couple videos? Well, I hope I was able to demonstrate that a lot of these ideas, including social justice, are designed to make you mentally and emotionally unstable. It is a mainstay of many brainwashing techniques. What is happening, I told a small sample from everything from social justice to maybe a dieting program, to cosmopolitan, and to Christianity, just to name a few, that are intentionally designed with this doublethink formula that is designed to make people crazy. And with my own wrestling with mental illness, it wasn't until I got over those things that things started getting better. It wasn't until my mom got over these things that she got better, and she stopped missing all these little things that everyone else picks up naturally. That's when she was able to be more productive and have more faith in herself. The same here with me. What's happening with these people is they cannot see reality as it is. Their ideology is designed to screw them up on purpose, makes them think in ways that to them sounds logical, sounds reasonable, sounds airtight, sounds wonderful. But when you're on the outside looking in, when from an outsider's point of view, they just seem insane. They just seem stupid. They just seem silly. They seem counterproductive. They seem self-destructive. But in their minds, because the doublethink formula was explained in such a wonderful way where it makes it sound like sense, they're doing good things. They are the epitome of reason. But what they have become is, since they've been abused, they are now abusers. And because they are mentally ill, they cannot see beyond their own nose, to use a common catchphrase. Just as I wasn't able to notice things beyond my nose. And so the problem is, once you're emotionally fucked up and you start thinking in dysfunctional ways and silly ways that are counterproductive and destructive, that makes you more emotionally screwed up and thus intensify this silly behavior, this abusive behavior, this stupid behavior, this blindness. And so there is no point in arguing with a social justice warrior. There is no point in arguing with a fanatic, because their mind has been designed onto a downward spiral, forever to self-destructive cycle, which makes them immune to reason and will forever land them on the path of insanity. Now, I just said, I listed a small sample of ideas, but I was saying to the viewers and to the listeners, almost every idea you know of in society, within the mean sphere that you have approached, is designed on this formula. Think about that. It is designed on this doublethink formula where you're being told that this idea is rational, this idea is smart, this idea is sane, this idea is supposed to make you a better person, this idea is making you healthy, when in practicality, it is doing the reverse. And what has happened is you were born into this condition in all these ideas. You just think these are rational, not only on top because of the process of the ideas, but now you're born it, so it makes sense because that's all you ever known. So unknowingly and unwittingly, you are behaving in ways that are self-destructive to yourself, self-destructive to others, and basically making things a mess. And if you are to say I am wrong, I challenge you to find as many ideas as you can that don't have this doublethink formula. I can guarantee you, you're going to find very little, if any, that do not have this insanity equals sanity formula embedded within its fabric. I guarantee it. Now I want you to consider that. To consider that everything you know was intentionally designed to make you be wrong. What would you do?